Welcome back. 2 days ago, this is post 2 days. The end of black privilege, white lives matter. And everything. So yeah.
From the George Floyd situation.
Yeah, let's get in here.
I learned that if you are a black man or woman in these United States and you happen to die at the hands of a white man or a white woman, you will automatically get the benefit of the doubt, right? You will be in the right, no matter what the situation may be. You will automatically be made a victim.
That's true. Yep.
And even more so, you will become the martyr. Which means you will be held up in the highest. For years to come, people would feel justified in burning down cities, looting, rioting, and essentially manipulating the entire framework of politics because of this one incident.
Yep.
You could use this one situation as a bargaining chip to bully your way into every single major institution and get your way. That's what you get when the victim is black. If you happen to be white and you are the victim of a violent crime and you happen to lose your life at the hands of a black man or a black woman, you will be ignored.
That's true.
That's what I've learned. Now, this is my third installment of, covering this story. And truth be told, I don't necessarily view myself as, a journalist. I don't think I have the credential necessarily, but I do my best to try to get to the bottom of things. And this is one that has been perplexing because, the story should just end at here was a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee, came to United States for a better life, and, she was randomly attacked on this light rail on her way back home, 10 p.m. in Raleigh, North Carolina. It should just be about those facts, but I feel like this story is actually supposed to be so much bigger, and we can't let this one slide.
Nope.
Unfortunately, when it comes to the case of Carmelo Anthony, there was enough pressure from those who were essentially looking to erase the story, or those who are looking to turn the narrative, that we sort of almost forgot about it.
Yep.
And what that allows for is for the perpetuation of the very same thing without any real repercussions. Whereas now we have the federal government stepping in, and this has now become a federal case. Now, this young woman has become a martyr, a symbol, and that's exactly what we needed. Now, I want to play you guys just a 12-second clip directly from CNN, the devil's second favorite news network behind MSDNC.
We don't know why that man did what he did. We don't know how to deal with people who were hurting in the way this man was hurting. People hurt people. What happened was horrible. No one mentioned the word race, white, black, or anything except him.
Hurt people hurt people. That's the story here, folks. This is not a story of an innocent woman being massacred by a lifetime criminal, or as they say, a career criminal. No, that's not that. This is just hurt people hurting people. I was debating whether or not to show you guys this image, but I feel you've probably already seen it at this point, so I'm going to just go ahead and do it anyways. We now have this image available for the collective conscious right here. This is the last moment that young woman essentially saw, that she experienced in life. Those were her last moments alive. Do you guys see the look on her face? terrified. Now, I asked a question in a TikTok video I recently did about this story, and I said, "Do you think if Daniel Penny was on that light rail that day, do you think this would have happened?" And my answer to that question, my own question, right, was, at best, he would have jumped right in, right? A hero like Daniel Penny would have jumped in and done something, restrained the man, or maybe even lost his life in the process of trying to do so. At worst, or I guess the best worst case scenario, at the least, he would have done everything he could to revive her or to do something for her. Now, I'm not here saying that I know without a shadow of a doubt that I would have been a superhero. I would only hope so. And again, I would pray that I'll be the type of man, if I'm in that situation, to immediately jump to action. You know, Daniel Penny was a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And so this was a man who, you know, he was essentially conditioned to jump into action in those types of situations. But what I notice here is, ironically enough, 3 other individuals who happen to be black, who essentially stood by, or even worse so, sat by. Now you may say to yourself, well, what could they have done? And maybe you're right. Maybe it would have been too late for them to do something. But do you want to know what happened to that man after he took that young woman's life? Y'all want to see it? And this is actually the crux, like at the core of why I felt it was necessary to do a 3rd installment of this. I want you guys to see this and hear it as well, but we'll first do the seeing part. This is the same guy walking through the light rail. Look at this. Now, I'm suspecting he's walking through a different cart, right? He's walking through a different section of that tram. This guy walked out of that seating area without anybody attempting to do anything about it. Black privilege.
Mm-hmm.
2 men were sitting back there. Nobody did anything. 2 men watched as it happened. And 1 woman. Nobody did anything. That man walked out. He didn't run out. He walked out. Now, I want you to listen to what he said. For the folks out there who want to unracialize it, deracialize it, I guess would be the word. Is that even a word? I don't know. It is now. So what he's saying is, I got that white girl. I got that white girl. We don't know if race is involved, Van Jones says. The only person who brought race up is the man sitting next to me at this panel, Van Jones says. Hurt people is the answer that Van Jones has. The very same Van Jones who cried for 5 years straight about poor George Floyd. They erected monuments in his name. They worshiped at this man's feet. Not questioning once the character of the man, not questioning once the situation that led to his demise. But a young white woman on camera, clear as day, innocent, fearful, has her life taken from her, and the most they can do for her, the most the liberal media can do for her, is to ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get a little deeper into this subject of black privilege, but I do want to bring this up before we get into that. There has been a call to action by a billionaire. I think, what is he? He's like the CEO of Intercom or something of that nature. And he's giving $500,000 in $10,000 grants to artists who are willing to paint beautiful monuments such as this one here in this young woman's memory. She has become a symbol, rightfully so. She has become the symbol of a nation that has fallen due to, I could only see it in the respects of corruption, and at a personal level, the white guilt of the liberal, or at a deeper level, it's really them looking to redeem themselves, them feeling a level of guilt for the perceived privileges that they have. And the only way they can cleanse themselves of these so-called sins of their fathers and their fathers' fathers, I guess, is to turn a blind eye to evil. That's what they've done. They turn away when evil is being done by those who they're supposed to be coddling, propping up, and essentially worshiping. And when I say worship, I mean worship. There was a time during 2020, I believe 2021, when white folks, or a group of white folks, were literally kissing the feet, washing the damn feet of black folks. I think it was a church of some sorts.
Yeah.
Prostrating in front of these people, worshiping them as gods of some sort. So I want to introduce two separate stories that better exemplify the phenomenon, because this is not a standalone situation. When I speak of black privilege, I'm not speaking of one man, I'm speaking of an ecosystem that has allowed for this.
Is only 25, but is well known to Baton Rouge police, causing problems over the years, spelled out in a plethora of paperwork filed with the 19th Judicial District Court.
It's extremely frustrating.
Baton Rouge Police Chief TJ Moore sat down with us Friday, expressing frustration after the same man is now accused of raping a small child.
We've arrested him 6 times over the last 6-7 years. He's everything from firearm charges to domestic abuse battery, violation of protective orders. He's currently on probation, supervised probation, by probation and parole.
So there is a story of a man, as the liberal media would say, or as we would say, a black man with black privilege that was let out of prison 6 times and is allowed to commit a 7th crime of R-wording a, can't even say ages like that on here. It's wild, right? A your old child. A 10-1 year-old child. Now, this is where the corruption element seeps in, because according to my latest update, the same judge who let this animal go, this cretin of sorts, I believe his name is DeCarlos Brown Jr., the same judge who let him go, a black judge, mind you, a real DEI hire of a judge, no true credentials. That judge happens to own a rehabilitation center. And where does she happen to send this man? She sent him to a rehabilitation center. As opposed to keeping his ass in prison, he wrote her a cute little note that was enough to persuade her that he deserved to be in quote-unquote rehab or a treatment facility instead. Turns out that she happens to own one. Talk about a conflict of interest. And this is a sort of strange case, but it's not rare as far as corruption goes. When you start to connect the dots, as they say, follow the money, you will oftentimes figure it out. So that was the first story I came across this morning alone. And we have a second one. It's just in an image form.